The day started like how most of mine do, a reluctant battle against consciousness and an obligatory cup of coffee because without caffeine, I'd be even more unbearable to be around with. Today's episode is about something called the ACOUS NM25 Ossuary edition. It's an earphone designed for monitoring, which is perfect really, because I do enjoy monitoring things, like my own lack of progress or the slow hypnotic decay of my caffeine buzz. The name sounds mysterious, probably because ossuary means a place that stores bones, which makes sense. It looks exactly like something you'd find while cleaning out the vault of a vampire who also happens to be an audiophile. Also, it's the name of the Chinese silver jewelry maker which ACOUS collaborated with. This is a limited batch release. The first run only has 50 pieces. That's a pretty small number, which makes it just exclusive enough to make you feel like you have stumbled onto something rather rare. Unboxing. The box is actually kind of cool since this is made in collaboration with Ossuary. It borrows the handcrafted silver jewelry vibe. Think heavy metal album cover meets high-end packaging design. It's quite refreshing, like seeing somebody actually try in an industry that's allergic to creativity. All they do is animate girls and renders of your phone on the front of the box. Inside there's an instruction booklet with a small staple at the spine to help you pull it out. It's one of those thoughtful design choices that screams, "We care!" right before you realize it's still a manual for a pair of earphones. Beneath it is a rugged carrying case that could possibly survive existential dread and a mild physical abuse. On the right, the earphones themselves. Little metallic sculptures that look pretty ready to judge your music taste. And below them, the cable, a 3.5mm 5N silver-plated oxygen-free copper cable terminated in 2-pin connectors. It looks like QDC connectors, but the polarity is normal here, unlike on the QDC, which is reverse. So go ahead and swap the cables like you swap goals in life, carefully without much confidence. And finally, you have got the MS42 ear tips, which help with overly warm IEMs. They are emotionally equivalent of a cold shower, restoring balance when things start sounding a little too comfortable. Build. The NM25 Ossuary edition looks spectacular. The shells are machined aluminum, smooth and satin finish, and have that custom universal shape that fits quite well in most ears. The faceplate, it is a tiny masterpiece, a 925 silver skull surrounded by swirling patterns and fine lines. Framed in gold, it's bold but somehow does not look tacky, which is a miracle considering most skull-themed designs look like rejected tattoo ideas. Inside it is a single dynamic drive that works diligently to deliver coherent sound, sort of like a tired intern doing all the real work while everyone else just takes credit. The cable feels good, twisted neatly with a 3.5mm termination, which makes sense if you plan to plug into anything remotely professional. Balance outputs are for dreamers, this one's for people who actually have jobs. Sound. The NM25 takes its job very seriously. It's not here to entertain you, it's here to show you everything you have been ignoring. It's neutral bright with forward vocals, clean bass and a smooth top end. Basically, it renders your mix the way a mirror renders your face first thing in the morning. Detailed, unforgiving and brutally honest. Bass. Bass here isn't plentiful, but you get excellent quality. It is presented in a controlled manner with superb texture and speed. If you are used to monitors such as the Atimotic ER4P or S, or I think they call them the ER4XR or SR now, you kind of get the idea. Tight, clinical and no nonsense. Resolution level here is excellent, even at smaller quantities. It leans slightly towards sub-bass, which gives it presence without bloat. Mid-bass isn't as strong, but when it appears, it's fast, impressively fast. Actually, there is zero bloom, no wooliness, just crisp transitions that leave everything else sounding very clean. The NM25 treats bass like a disciplined student, focused, dependable, slightly afraid of having fun. Mid-range, the name of the game here is actually clarity. Lower mids echo the restrained mid-bass. Lower mids echo the restrained mid-bass, slightly scooped, leaving male vocals articulate but a touch thin. You lose a bit of warmth but gain remarkable detail. Upper mids are where things get energetic. Female vocals shine, glass-like and pure with outstanding resolution. Instruments come through vivid and percussive, maybe too vivid at times. guitars can bite, so I often listen to the NM25 at lower volumes, not because it's harsh, but because it's emotionally overwhelming to hear that much truth all at once. The NM25 is very technical, an IEM that gives you layers, textures, and imaging so clean you start wondering if your favorite singer actually needs therapy. Treble here is smooth and airy thanks to NF ACOUS innovation, the Clutter Trap. Basically, it's a Helmholtz resonator placed near the nozzle. It removes specific treble peaks, keeping everything comfortable and refined. You get a great amount of air and sparkle, but without the sting. It's controlled but open, like a sigh after too much overthinking. Soundstage. Imagine sitting in a classroom. Not big, not tiny, just intimate enough to make you aware of everything around you. That's the NM25 soundstage. It's not grand, but it's precise. You hear every little subtle shift and every instrument finding its place. Depth is average, width and height modest, yet positioning is razor sharp. You can pick apart each sound easily, like dissecting layers of polite chaos. Next, for some comparisons against the Dunu DN242. Now, the Dunu DN242 is the casual listener's choice. It is a generalist and all-rounder. It has got sweeter vocals and an easy-going demeanor. The M25 though, it's sharper, more revealing, ready to correct your assumptions about the mix. On the resolution front, the NM25 beats the DN242 easily. When I need to zero in on details, the faint reverb traits, the subtle harmonics, I go with the NM25. When I just want to enjoy music without existential dread, I go with the DN242. Life's all about balance after all. Ratings. The NF ACOUS NM25 Ossuary edition lives up to the monitor label. It delivers resolution like running water, free-flowing, clear and unadorned. It's beautifully built, artistically presented, and sonic enough to make you rethink everything you thought you knew about the mix. I give it a solid B, not because it's average, it's too honest for that, but because sometimes, just sometimes, honesty hurts. So this is the one I reach for when I want to pick apart layers in music and hear individual lines, not when I want comfort. Comfort's overrated anyways. And there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the Superchunk Super Audio Show, where self-doubt meets acoustics. A like would be nice, a subscribe would be excellent, and pretending you understood all of that would be heroic. With that said, I hope to see you guys soon.